Welcome to Moki's #1 YouTube channel. Today I'm going to teach you about my Frenzy Barbarian's build for Diablo 3. And guess what? Oh my god, he lives in hell. So let's get to it. First things first, you are a barbarian. You need to be in the middle of everything. Don't use Seismic Slam to try being a ranged DPS. If you wanted to do this, then you need to go play a Demon Hunter, a Witch Doctor, or a Wizard, and go get your pew pew on. Now I've played a Frenzy Barb since D2, and I'm going to go ahead and carry it over to D3. Now you can use a sword and board with Frenzy if you want, but let's be honest, that just prolongs your death, or you can use a two-hander, but really, it kind of defeats the purpose of Frenzy. So you get a crap load of damage, but not enough increased attack speed to leech life. The best way that I've found is to have two one-handers, preferably axes or maces, that have increased attack speed, strength, vitality, life on hit, damage that converts to life. Your main stat's going to be strength. Your second stat's going to be vitality, and your third is going to be lifesteal or damage converted to life. The reason why you want to go with strength and then vitality is because of your passive bloodthirst, which gives 3% damage converted to life. Your second stat is going to be vitality, so you can stand in the middle of everything and build up that frenzy. So the passives I run with are Weapons Master, mainly for the 10% crit chance with maces and axes, which also helps out your blood funnel and your whirlwind, or you can run Weapons Master for the 15% increased damage with swords for the next passive I'm going to explain. Bloodthirst, which converts 3% of all damage to life. This is the cream of the crop for your survival. The more damage you have, the more life you get back. It's a beautiful thing. The next passive I use is Ruthless, for the 5% increased crit chance for blood funnel on your whirlwind, and the 50% crit damage increase for your Ruthless. All three of these passives work with your attacks. Now for multi-target, I use Frenzy as my main attack, with the Triumph rune for the increased life gain for the moments I need a little life to jump back into mobs. Sure, you don't get it instantly, but if something's at 20 health, go smack it and get 8% of your life back. Now as my secondary attack, I use Whirlwind with the Ruined Blood Funnel, mainly because the crits restore 1% of your health, and since I use axes and maces, and I use Weapons Master and Ruthless along with Bloodthirst, it's a massive life gain and a huge damage dump. On top of that, you get to use your Fury, it doesn't just sit there anymore. Now for my hotbar, I use Ignore Pain with the Ignorance of Bliss Rune. It reduces all damage by 65%, and the Ignorance is a Bliss Rune. 20% of my damage is converted to life. Use it for an opener to build up your frenzy. Use it with your whirlwind to gain massive amounts of life back. It does stack with your passive, so why not use it? Now the next item I use in my hotbar is Revenge, with the Vengeance is Mine rune. I know, why don't you use Overpower, you noob? For real? I like to live. It's a semi-spammable massive AoE that has no limit. It can be used 200 times in 200 seconds, but it does have to proc. But it also stacks with lifesteal on your weapons, along with your 3% lifesteal. There's no 15-second wait. The rune builds up in your fury and life, so you can use Whirlwind and never die. It ends the cycle of not dying. It's actually fun. Now the next ability I use is Battle Rage with the Marauder's Rage rune. This increases your damage by 15% and your crit chance for 30 seconds. The rune also increases your damage from 15% to 30%. For more lifesteal. Duh. Starting to notice the pattern? Crit equals damage, equals life, equals no death. I mean, that's what a barbarian's for, to get in there and start smacking things and not die. Alright, so the last ability I use is Wrath of the Berserker with Insanity rune and a Slaughter rune. And you know, if there are elites there, you want to use Insanity, it gives you 100% increased damage. Now if you just want to dump the cooldown just to be cool and show off, use Slaughter. Now I use Insanity for the damage increase for more life. I also use Slaughter because I like seeing a lot of numbers blow up everywhere. But I say use what's comfortable for you. But remember, Insanity does give your Whirlwind and your Frenzy an extra push to make you laugh, while your friends are dead and you stand there all bloody and alive. Now the reasons that I use Wrath of the Berserker, instead of like Call of the Ancients or Earthquake, 1, Wrath of the Berserker gives you a 10% crit chance on top of everything else. Then it gives you a 25% increased attack speed. On top of that, it gives you dodge chance by 20%, and it gives you 20% movement speed. For those kiting mobs that just drive you insane. why not go with it? Have 3 little monsters that fight for you for 10 seconds, or drop something on the ground that the enemy's just going to run out of. I choose Wrath of the Berserker. Alright, now for single target or bosses, I switched my Frenzy Ruin from Triumph to Smite, mainly for the stuns, and Triumph doesn't heal unless you kill something. And I make sure I have Insanity for Wrath of the Berserker. Now if there's a whole lot of movements for the fight, where I need a kite, for instance Lord of Gluttony, Belial, or anything that puts painful AoE down, I might swap out my Whirlwind for Weapon Throw with a Mighty Throw Rune. I mean, it'll also give you life and give you that range that you can close in for the distances. So here are some tips and tricks I can give you. Keep in mind you are a barbarian. Potions will be your best friend. You're going to need to use them a lot, mainly when you start off building your range and your frenzy. Once Ignore Pain wears off, that's fine. Once Revenge procs, it's game on. Since you're a Frenzy Whirlwind Barb, you want to be in the middle of everything. Smack a few mobs with Frenzy, then Whirlwind straight into the middle of the mob. The more mobs that hit you, the more of a chance you have for your Revenge to proc, which in turn gives you Rage to use on Battle Rage or Whirlwind. And Battle Rage is something you're going to be keeping up at all times, so Rage is usually nice to have. And in the middle of everything, once you get that Fury Up in Whirlwind, with Wrath of Insanity, gives you total ponage. Don't get discouraged by high numbers of monsters. Just run straight into them and go to town. Now I know you might think, Moki, my damage doesn't seem high. I won't be able to kill anything. But you have to realize if you're at 6k damage with Battle Rage, you're going to increase that damage to 9k, along with 20% crit chance, 45 with Wrath of the Berserker. And that's going to increase your damage a lot. Along with the 50% increased damage, yeah, it's going to be awesome. Now, you'll probably be pulling anywhere from 16 to 20k invisible damage. You'll see this in your crits. So, keep in mind you also have a very, very high attack speed ratio that'll give you, let's say 12k a hit. 3 hits a second, that's 36k. That's just in 1 second with Frenzy. Now on top of that, 3% of the damage is going to be converted to life. That's 1080 life a second. That's without the life still on your weapons. It's definitely worth it. So, being a melee class, you're going to have a few weaknesses. Your top weakness is going to be immunity mobs. They don't take damage. I mean, I usually just try to ignore them, but if you're going to have to fight them, you're going to have to face bang them. By that I mean die, revive, and go bang your face off of them again until they die or you get through. If you do try to fight them, Earthquake's probably going to be your best bet, and any elemental damage is going to be a plus, but good luck with them. Your next weakness is always going to be arcane mobs. That pink crystal beam of STFU is a pain, and you got to keep moving to stay out of it. Weapon Throw with Ricochet is going to be one of your best bets, or Weapon Throw with Mighty Throw is probably your best bet. Now your last weakness, I should say weaknesses, is going to be the Desecrator, the Plagued, and the Molten. Now they're really easy to get away from. You can pop Ignore Pain and just try to tank it, but as soon as your Ignore Pain goes away, it's going to hurt. If the AoE effect is still on the ground after you pop Ignore Pain, just Whirlwind through them to the other side of it and just attack them from that side. Now remember, once Molten die, get away. It hurts. Well guys, that's it. That is how, in a nutshell, I play my Barbarian. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a friend request. Moki number 1225. Send me a friend request, ask me a few questions, or even just play with me. I'll try to answer everything to the best of my knowledge. Have a good day.